excitement. Blue Maps are us in Trussville. We're joined by Hewitt-Trussville Athletic Director Lance Walker and our Hewitt-Trussville championship winning coach, softball coach Taylor Burt. If we can pull them to the screen, we got them coming, guys. There we are. Okay, we got mics up on those guys. Everybody, we're all good. So, and just so you know at home, our regular guy, Ron Burkett, who does all things videography, video for us, is out of town. He's a world traveler. So we've got some backups helping, and they've been working on this for a couple of weeks. So
well,
I feel
and
pretty
on
good
top
about
of that,
it.
you had a router go down.
Yeah,
so
we
had
had
to really
internet issues
today.
all morning and internet equipment issues, but everybody ran around and got that taken care of. So we're a little late getting to the show, but we're here. And did we figure out how to pull those guys in? Let's pull them on in. So they're sitting over in the corner. There you go. How are you doing, Athletic Director Walker and Coach Burt?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, doing wonderful.
Glad both of you are here. Taylor, we're going. Let's start with Lance, and then we'll get back to Coach Burt over here. Lance, from an athletic director standpoint, you send two teams to state playoffs, and they both come home with blue maps. Not something that happens every day. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it took me a couple of days to even answer the question, honestly, just because of, I think, how both of them transpired, and then, how it ended up working out with the weather and both teams finishing on the same day, and it being the last year ever of 7A and, winning two on the same day. It's really just incredible and kind of hard to describe, honestly, but in the history of our school, which is 100 years old, we've won 23 state championships. So it's extremely hard to do. We play in the top classification in the state. So, when you think about 23 all time and then two of them coming in the same day, it's a pretty remarkable day. But I think above anything, I'm just really happy for the kids. You watch them all year, the way they've come together, the way they fight, the way they, stay with it and to play their best. And, it's extremely special to be a part of a championship team. It's something that lasts forever, that they'll always have. So I think above anything else, I'm just really excited for them.
We're going to, obviously, we're talking a lot about softball and baseball right now because of the success those two programs had last week or over the weekend. But the truth is, Hewitt Athletics had a banner year across the board. I mean, they didn't all win state championships, but this was a pretty strong year.
Yeah, we were, we're really proud of a lot of our teams. I think when we look back, we had 10 of our teams came in the top four, so you would say Final Four teams. So, I wish I could give you a simple answer for, why that's happening, but honestly, it's a lot of things. We're blessed with great leadership with our Board of Education, Dr. Martin, our superintendent, Aaron King, Jared Meads, the principals at the school, Mayor Short, the entire city is behind us. We've worked really hard to bring in great coaches like Coach Burt here to lead our program. So really it's a lot of things that come together. Our kids are outstanding. Our parents are supportive. They're about, what we're trying to do. So it really takes all of it. But yeah, we're really happy about the year, but as you know, there's not a lot of time to sit around and look back. We've all got teams doing youth camps, already coming up. Teams are starting workouts next week. So really looking forward and just trying to get better.
Speaking of which, Taylor, let's turn our attention to you. You actually left the camp to come in and do this today.
Yes, sir.
And we're grateful for that. Fifth state championship in 7 years.
Yes, sir.
Could have easily been 6 in 7 years. I think we all agree. And played for a state championship in that other year. Or
yes, sir.
One of those other years.
2022. Yes, sir.
It's one thing to build a program where you were there competing at the end of every single season, it seems like, but to have this kind of success, what does it feel like, or can you even describe what that feels like?
Honestly, obviously not. I'm just really proud. I'm really proud to be a part of it. I'm really proud to, to be able to say that our girls succeeded, and because they work hard, they work so hard, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun when all the hard work pays off. And so I think, obviously, not a lot of people expected us to do that this year, and that makes it even more fun. And I'm super, super proud of our girls. And from 2018 to now, everybody has played a huge role in our success, and it's just been a phenomenal time.
Well, I want to get to the girls and this specific team, but I before we get there, I think I told you before the show, I love this staff, this coaching staff that you've put together. I love the demeanor, the way they handle themselves during games, and I really think it carries over to our players. I think they have adopted the mindset of their coaches. Can you kind of run down your list of coaches? And we know Felicia's on first base, but you got a full staff. Jim's been with you a long time. Just talk about that group and what they mean to you and how you think they operate as a team.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not going to dig into it too deep because I'll get emotional, because they're not just assistant coaches. They're not just part of a staff. Like, we're genuinely a family. Yeah. We probably spend more time with each other than we do our actual families. But I have a phenomenal staff. And Felicia Gullidge, everybody calls her Gully. She's been the go-to. Her and Jim Bells have been there longer than I've been there. Yeah. They were wonderful. They kept things going, even throughout the coaching changes prior to us getting there. And it was really just us three that first year that in 2019, along with Lance and some of our admin, we really kind of started it off with a bang. And then I have Emily Hart, who's an incredible pitching coach, does a wonderful job. And here's what people don't understand is we have 8 coaches on staff, and they get paid to coach their teams. They don't get paid to travel the extra 3 weeks of the season. They do it out of the goodness of their heart. They do it because they love the girls. They do it because they love the program. Our JV coaches, Maddie Watkins and Lee Boyette, and then our middle school coaches, Jim Bells, obviously, and Abigail Dorset. We got the full Dorset clan. Maddie, used to be a Dorset.
That's right.
We're just trying to talk Hannah into it at this point. And then, we have an incredible strength coach in Brandon Herring. And we just, honestly, we have the best staff. I would put our staff up against anybody in the nation, especially when it comes to high school sports. And we got finished playing Monday night in a regional, and starting Tuesday, we rode to Montgomery, and we scouted a game on Tuesday, all of us. And then we spent hours upon hours. They spent hours upon hours watching film, scouting pitchers, scouting hitters. And to be honest with you, that's why we were successful, because our girls felt ultra prepared, and that's all thanks to my assistant coaches, our staff. Like, they don't get the thanks enough to do it. I'm sitting here, but in reality, it should be all of them. They're better than I could ever put into words.
Well, let's talk about those girls a little bit. You didn't really have what I think probably the softball world would consider a big superstar on this team, though. Gogutz is about as good as any I've seen, to be honest. But as a team, this was a formidable bunch that you had out there.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just go-getters. They were, we've seen a ton of ups and downs throughout the season. They probably heard me yell more than they heard me say good job, but through it all, they just kept going. And they didn't really let a whole lot stick to them. They were able to get on and move over, get over it and move on with it. Losing a ball game and able to recover, and I'm just super proud of them, because probably not a lot of people thought they were capable of it, but they thought they were capable of it, and that's all that mattered. The top of our lineup is wonderful, but the postseason, the bottom half of our lineup really showed out, and our dugout really showed out. There's 23 kids on that team, and it took every single one of them to be successful, and I'm proud of I tell them all the time, our state tournament format is awful.
It is.
The format is terrible. It is a gauntlet, and it is whoever's the most mentally tough, that's who's coming through it. And I think that's why we've been able to be successful like we have, because we're able to handle the punches and keep rolling.
I agree with that. I shared with you that I got a text during the game, or I got a text during the tournament after you guys had lost the game. Somebody texted me the score, and my response was, "So, did you see Taylor's first championship?" For those who have forgotten, the Husky girls lost the very first game, the opening game of the tournament, and then absolutely massacred the field to bring that championship home. And Hannah Borden will be legendary for keeping that thing going always. But Taylor, it's kind of what I was pointing to earlier, just this mindset that you've built in the program. Guys, can we pull our coaches up? And there you go. Leave them up. They're more important. Taylor and Lance had a much better weekend than Brandon and I did. So let's just leave them up at the interview. Really, it is a mindset that you've got there. But these girls, when they dropped that game, what did you see in them? I know you saw exactly what you expected to see, but can you kind of describe their mental attitude after that loss?
I think, we played about as bad as we could possibly play. So the way we kind of took it was, well, we just got rid of all of our mistakes in one fell swoop and just said, okay, and then like, hey, who's next? Like, we got to move on. And we had some come to Jesus moments before we stepped on the field with Central. And really had some really in-depth conversations, and thankfully we had time to do that. And they kind of came out and they were like, hey, we just got to get it done. And our biggest thing from that point forward is we knew we had a long road, but it was one pitch, one play, one out, one inning at a time. If you look at it in the big picture, it gets overwhelming. But if you just look at the very next thing, then you can handle it. You just take care of the next thing, and then the next thing, the next thing. And they did a wonderful job of that throughout rain delays. We ended up with another rain delay that night. We ended up, I think, with 3 or 4 total rain delays throughout the tournament. Those have always kind of been our friend. I'm for them, although they're a little inconvenient to most. We tend to handle them pretty well. And that was just kind of our thing, was let's just go one at a time and handle the next thing and keep going from there.
I'm glad you brought up the weather delays, because I don't think it upsets anybody more than the media, first and foremost, and then after that, the fans. But I've said this, and Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've made the comment, it bothers and upsets everybody except the girls, because they grew up with this. They have been in weather delays since they were 6 years old. And the biggest party going on during a weather delay is usually in the dugout.
That's right. And if you would have been able to go into the locker room, so at Oxford in the championship field, they have locker rooms in the back of the dugouts now. And
nice.
We were able to kind of go in and especially between games, like you would have thought there was a party going on in there. They weren't bothered by it. They were soaked from head to toe. It was a torrential downpour. But they weren't bothered a lick. They were like, can we go back out? Like, let's go. Let's get it done. They were ready to go. And so I was super proud of them for that. I wish we would have been able to finish it on Thursday night, because we did have a wonderful crowd there. For us, not knowing that we were going to be playing the championship game, the people that were there were loud and they were proud, and they deserved to get to celebrate in front of them like that. But to go home and throw our uniforms on a makeshift clothesline and put them back on soaking wet and stinking the next day and go back out and finish it, I was super proud of them for that.
Trust me, Coach, we all wish you could have finished it that night. That was a tough night. Let's get in a little bit into the final championship series against Thompson. Did I hear correctly? They were 40. I know they were the top-ranked team in the state. Were they 49-1?
Something like that. They were a lot and one. I don't know exactly what the record was, but it was a lot and one. 1 and 2. I think they had like 2 ties or something like that.
Well, our girls just went for the jugular in that first game.
They did.
Run ruled them.
Yes, they did. So
11.
came out and put 3 up in the first inning, and I think that really helped set the tone. I think we came out and went walk, single, double, and scored 3 runs, and they had a pitch and change, and we didn't do anything crazy. We just kind of kept putting 1 or 2 across every inning after that, and that makes a big difference. And Harper did a phenomenal job on the mound.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we ended up with like 13 hits, and they just came out and they performed. They hit every pitcher that they put out there, and ran bases well, played defense well. It's just a full team effort. I was super, super proud of them. Most complete game we probably played all year long.
I agree. And you know, you've just ruled the #1 team in the state, and it's not enough. You got to do it again. And so that's the game we got into. And for those of you who didn't see it, this game ended in torrential rains. I do think the officials did all they could to try to get it finished. But the game ends, or doesn't end, but it is stopped with 1 out or 2 outs?
2 outs.
2 outs.
2 outs.
We're up 4-1.
2-1.
2-1. So it was a tight game. And they've got to come back and finish it the next day. The only complaint I've got really, and I told you before the game, or before the show started, top of the 5th, we've got 2 on, or we let Thompson get 2 on with no out. I'm an old man. I'm struggling with that. My heart is struggling with that. But our girls just played some of the most cold-blooded defense. And our guys did too, Lance, throughout the tournament. Our baseball and our softball teams just played cold-blooded defense throughout this tournament. Does it shake you up like it shakes me up, or do you just stay calm?
I'll be honest, I'm more, my anxiety is a lot higher prior to the game.
Okay.
Probably anticipating what's going on. In the game, we're usually pretty good about kind of keeping our head about us, and because, like you said, they kind of feed off of us, and so especially in that moment, like if I can keep my head about me, I know they're going to be able to do that with themselves. And so I called, I think in that inning we had first, second, no outs. I called time, went out, and it was just to kind of give them a breather and say, hey, look, this is what bunt defense we're in. This is what we're doing. And Erin, our third baseman, looked at me. She said, hey, I'm about to get this bunt and throw this girl out at third. And I said, all right, let's do it. And she did. She got on top of that sucker and threw the leadoff runner out, and I think that really helped kind of swing things in our favor. And then Corey ended the inning with an insane diving catch that, with second and runners on second, third, 2 outs, that it made the difference in the ball game. And she put it all out on the line and went and got it.
Well, I'm just going to guess that this group got the attention of a lot of college coaches that may not have been paying a lot of attention to them going into this tournament. But Coach, again, congratulations on the 5th state championship. Congratulations on building not just a championship winning program, but a program that's just top quality, great quality coaches, great quality players and girls, great citizens. Thank you for what you've done for this community.
Hey, thank you so much. And listen, I kind of want to give a shout out too, and this is rare coming from a coach, but we had incredible parents, incredible moms that I called it extra because, you know, I'm kind of plain Jane, but they went above and beyond, putting things out there for the girls and taking care of them and making sure we were taken care of. And, you know, 1 a.m. we're trying to scramble to get back to the house, and our parents just did a phenomenal job of basically going with the flow and making sure the girls had what they needed when they needed it, and took a lot of pressure off us as coaches, and our girls did the same, and our coaching staff did an awesome job. And so it's a complete team effort. It's not one person, it's not 2 people, it's a complete team effort. You got to have really selfless kids, you got to have really selfless parents, and you got to have really selfless coaches, and that trumps talent 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. So
I agree.
I'm appreciative for that.
Lance, I just want to give you the final word here. We don't have Jeff Malden here today. We hope to have him next week. We will get him at some point if we have to show up in the baseball locker room with our cameras. But I know he wanted to be here, but he's in camp. So, but before we get away, talk a little bit about that baseball championship and those guys. Just I can't say enough about both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, thinking about both teams, probably the one word that comes to mind is unselfish. And, you know, I appreciate from my role seeing how they support each other.
Yep.
You know, on, I guess it was Thursday, our days have kind of run together, but on Thursday, there was a time where, you know, softball and baseball were playing, you know, a couple of 100 yards from each other. So, you know, I was able to see people running back and forth, trying to watch both games. You know, we'd be at one game and a cheer would kind of break out because, you know, the other one had scored or whatever. You know, after they won on a Friday morning, most of their team came back and watched the boys win that afternoon. And then what we were able to do with kind of a celebration that we put together here that was kind of a joint thing. It's just really cool to see them being excited for each other. It was a lot of fun, but I think the baseball team, we started this year area play. We lost the first 3 games of area play, and probably no one outside of that dugout or that program gave them any chance of making the playoffs after that. And they swept Oak Mountain, they swept Hoover just to get in, had to go on the road the first round, beat James Clemens, then had to go on the road again and play Tuscaloosa County, who was the defending champions. Really tough series, and then play Thompson here, who is another really good team. So just, credit to them for playing their best at the right time. Coaches did a phenomenal job of preparing the team, but it was a great team to watch. It was an easy team to cheer for because I've said this to different people, but it almost seemed like everybody within the program. And I'm not just talking about the players on the team. I'm talking about coaches, parents, everybody. Like the only thing they cared about was the team winning, and when that is the sole focus, it's amazing what can happen. So. It was an incredible week, honestly, and just really excited for everybody involved. And we appreciate you all for covering it. This is something Jeff and I talked about. It's been 10 years since our last baseball championship, and just the amount of pictures and videos and all those things you have now that maybe you didn't have access to. I mean, that's something that the players on the team, when they're mine and Taylor's age, they're going to be able to look back and see these videos of the bus parade and see the pictures of the dog pile afterwards in color and all the things. So it was a special year, and we appreciate everything you guys do to support our kids.
Well, we appreciate the constant flow of great stories coming out of Trussville City Schools.
We're actually going to show the video in just a second. But Lance, before you get away, I did want to mention, because we were going to mention it later in the show, so we're just talking about it now. The Tribune did cover that Anita Dobbs came out of the hospital.
Right.
Of course, Anita is the wife of Coach David Dobbs, who is kind of the legendary track coach here in Trussville, who died in a tragic accident. And I was going to give you the opportunity. I asked you before, I didn't know if you're in touch with the family very often, but just to give you a minute to maybe mention something about Anita being released from the hospital.
Yeah, well, I think all of us are following their daughter's Facebook posts and everything, and everyone was so excited to see that she was able to leave the hospital. It's kind of a bittersweet thing a little bit, thinking about David, because he was, when anything good, nobody loved the Huskies more than David Dobbs. Right. And when anything good happened for the Huskies, like one of these championships, he's on the top of the list of people you call and just talk to about it and sort of celebrate with. So I know the family has put out, we're going to have a thing here in the entertainment district in a couple of weeks to celebrate him. So I think that's something that, the city will really rally behind. And I know he's proud of, Taylor and Jeff and everybody that's involved. What's been interesting to see to me with all the Facebook posts and everything that's come out, there's been thousands of things. Not one thing is about, hey, Coach, remember that trophy we won, or remember that time we won this meet or this championship? Like, it's nothing about that. It's all about, Coach, this is how you helped me in my life. Hey, Coach, here, now that I'm older, here's the things I learned from you. So it just gives you some perspective. And I think as we talk to our coaches too, like, these are the things that people remember. This is the kind of impact that you have. And like, we love winning championships and blue maps and all that, but I'm appreciative for Taylor and Jeff of all the things they're doing for our kids, even more so than those trophies.
Well, I appreciate you. I think that's well said. Well said,
Yeah,
Lance.
and the public event will be June 11th, I believe. Is that correct? You mentioned at the entertainment.
And we'll have some more information on that coming up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ron Burkett had not left town yet when the Huskies won. I think it was Friday.
It was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
So spread out all over. Kind of an impromptu
the days really ran
parade
together
along Husky Parkway, and so we're going to go to that video and we'll come back. Well, we really appreciate Ron Burkett putting that together before he
Yeah.
left town and being there and capturing those moments. Obviously, he broke his drone out and caught that amazing image at the end on the big screen. And so that's just
It
really
was
a
amazing.
great weekend.
We've
for
had
Trustful.
so many great championships in this town with different sports, but to have two teams winning championships at the exact same time
Yeah.
in the same place was pretty amazing. I mean, that was just one of those deals like this doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
Only time that's ever happened in 7A sports, only time it will ever happen because 7A dissolves after this year. So we were the only team that ever won softball and baseball at the same time, only school that won softball and baseball at the same time. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that has only happened 6 times prior in the entire state of Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah, the softball and baseball won by the same
Quite
school.
an event for sure.
Same year.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll cover the other news of the week. Stay with us.
With over 15 years of experience in the Birmingham market and surrounding areas, we have had the privilege of seeing this city grow and change.
I've lived in Birmingham since 1975 and raised my family here. I love helping great families find their next home so they can grow and support our community.
My husband and I have been in Trussville since 2010, and I'm raising 2 kids who love making the Huskies proud.
We have loved exploring Vestavia, Leeds, Homewood, and Hoover.
Whether you're relocating to Birmingham, looking to downsize, get more space for your growing family, or invest in property, we know the ins and outs of each neighborhood.
When it comes to selling, our experience means we know exactly how to market your home to get it seen by the right buyers. From professional staging to top-notch photography, we help make sure your property stands out and gets the attention that it deserves.
We've built relationships with top local contractors, lenders, and inspectors so we can connect you with the best in the business when you're ready to buy or sell.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's talk just about some other things that happened in the area. Okay, this was just yesterday morning, the fire outside of the Love Lady Center store in Clay. And those are pretty dramatic looking images.
Yeah.
And so that has turned out, that story continues to develop. It's turned out to be arson. There's a suspect. There's images being put out of that person. So I have no doubt that they'll catch that person. But one tractor trailer burned completely. Another is ruined by smoke. Yet operations are normal at the store.
Yeah, they kept going. These were big
Unfortunately, no one
18-wheeler
was hurt.
trailers that
Yeah.
were parked outside and had a lot of stuff in them. So I think we've got video and photos of the suspect, and that's already been posted by a lot of media. We'll have it up shortly. We'll have that up, I believe. So why somebody would do that is beyond me. I mean,
And amazingly, no one was hurt.
yeah, it's that thrift store operates to support a nonprofit that does a lot of good for a lot of people. And I don't know the mindset of someone who thinks, well, I'm just going to go do this and hurt people and destroy merchandise. And but hopefully it's on the left media outlets that he'll be identified quickly and he'll have to deal with this. But yeah, and here's the other thing. You start a fire like that, it could easily spread to the building and do a lot more damage that maybe wasn't intended. But yeah, just a stupid thing to do.
And very dangerous.
Yeah.
Memorial Day was Monday, and this was a really big deal at the Trustful Veterans Memorial, where the fallen soldiers
Right.
memorial also is. They unveiled the bronze bust of Major Dwayne Williams,
Right.
whose brother, Roy Williams, whose twin brother, Roy Williams, we're friends with and know well, and they've been working towards raising money for this bus for a long time.
For a long time, and a lot of people contributed. Rob Langford, I think, participated in 2 or 3 different benefits to raise money, and a lot of people contributed to make that happen. That was unveiled on Memorial Day. And so a wonderful time for Roy and his family.
Absolutely.
And Roy has done, I think, a magnificent job keeping his brother's story alive.
Yes, he has.
And moving forward in this. But you were mentioning they also had something representative of Major Kleiner.
So they will do, you can also have dog tags placed on the poles that represent each person. And yes, that was done for U.S. Air Force Major John Kleiner, who was killed in March during this current Operation Epic Fury.
Auburn native, Trussville resident, and my understanding is his wife and children are still here. So the city really poured out their love for that family.
Right.
So I was impressed with that and proud of Trussville, but not surprised.
No, me neither.
It's kind of who this town is.
But we wanted to make sure that we mentioned that. Also, let's see what we're talking about next. Jefferson County Greenways. I wasn't very familiar with this organization until recently, but that is the group that oversees Turkey Creek, Ruffner Mountain, and Red Mountain.
I'd not heard of them till this.
Yeah, so they came to the Pinson City Council and just announced that they had acquired an additional 240 acres that will be part of Turkey Creek, and it will be developed over several years.
Yeah.
But it gives people in Pinson more access to the park. And Turkey Creek is extremely popular with people in our area, that's for sure.
Because it's gorgeous. It is just beautiful there.
Well, they are the group that oversee those 3 parks. And I was going to mention this too. This weekend, Saturday, Ruffner, which is part of that group, they host a lightning bug hike in the evening, Saturday evening. And so that is, I think, if you're a member, you can go out for $5. If you're a guest, you can go out for $10. And it's like a gravel path, a pretty easy 2-mile hike where you can go out and kind of experience lightning bugs in the area. So that's Saturday night. I thought I would mention that to people.
Kids still catch them and put them in a jar with holes in the lid? That's what we were
maybe not on the hike, but maybe in your yard.
That's what we were doing a long time ago.
I know,
and that was kind of one of those rites of passage into summer.
Yes, absolutely. Ryan and I walked late last night on our greenway here in Trussville and got tickled to see the different lightning bugs through the walk last night.
I love them. I mean, it's just fun to see them.
It is. And then also turning back to Trussville, some good news financially for Trussville. They said that just even in the last month they had expected a loss, but it turned out to be a pretty major gain due to some money management, but also some just more funds coming in through some different things. Business permits, I think, were mentioned specifically. Revenue from building permits, not business permits. And so that was really good to see.
It was. We've talked about this before. This administration, Mayor Short and his council really came in wanting to get the city on a comfortable, solid financial footing, which we, as a city, we have been on really for years and years and years. But we had some issues when the online sales tax started taking money out of our pocket. And so they kind of came in with eyes wide open, have made some decisions and some moves to solidify the financial foundation of the city, and it's paying off. It's showing up, and they're doing a good job, I think.
Well, Trussville's finance director is Joseph Calvert. I did think this was interesting how he said this. He credited the result to expense management, which is cuts.
In some cases.
Yes, in some cases.
In some cases, and revenue increases.
Income outperforming expectations. So.
And I'm going to give Joseph a little credit. They're getting really good financial advice. And I give Joseph Calvert a lot of credit for that. I think he's got a great mind for this. He works well with the mayor and the council. And so as a team, I think the city's stepping in the right direction. Good to see.
Well, good. And then lastly, I was going to give you the opportunity just to kind of mention redistricting and what's happening with that in Alabama. We're seeing all of this nationally.
Well, we're back into wait and see mode. So I'm going to try to summarize it because really so much of this is redundancy anyway. Alabama had the chance to, as every state does, redraw congressional lines, and you've got a supermajority in Montgomery that drew a map that was favorable to Republicans. That happens in every state in America. It went before a 3-judge panel who, if you read the case, and I've read it, every word of it, and it's not boring, I would advise anybody, but we got a 3-judge, I think it's a circuit court, maybe a district court, panel that called the map racist because as you read what the judges are saying, they are basically saying Democrats are black, Republicans are white, and that's the way the court is viewing it. And they were demanding that the lines be withdrawn or be redrawn to districts that gave one race priority over another race. Well, that's a violation of the United States Constitution. And no less than the Supreme Court basically came out and said, you can't do that. Sent it back to the 3-judge district court, who did it again. And so the state of Alabama has appealed it. We'll see how that plays out. But when you have federal judges demanding congressional lines be drawn, and the term they used was a black opportunity district, and demanding that congressional lines being drawn based on race, that takes away the benefit of having a supermajority Republican legislature. And they don't do this in other parts of the country. In fact, look up at New England, where 30 to 40% Democrats are the minority or the majority up there. So 30 to 40% probably vote Republican. Not a single Republican congressional district in all of New England. How many states is that? It's pretty much the 13 original,
right,
and then over there. But nobody says anything about it. So we'll see what the Supreme Court says going forward. But this is kind of a big deal, and I think people of Alabama are sick and tired of having federal judges try to punish the state for stuff that happened 60, 70 years ago. Enough. We've moved on, and you need to treat Alabama the way you treat everybody else. So we'll see how that works out, but right now it's back in the Supreme Court's hands.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all we have for you today. We'll be back next week, of course, and we hope you have a wonderful weekend. We're getting caught up on our rain and looking forward to a lot this summer.
My wife hates it, but I love the rain.
Well, when we we'd been out of town, but I will say my plants and yard look totally different when I left.
It's been
Everything
nice.
looks really
well,
happy.
Yeah, we had, about 4 weeks of a drought?
Yeah.
And it was starting to take effect.
This has had to put some kind of dent in it. But anyway, that's good. And it looks like we have a lot of rain coming up through the next week.
Did Ryan have grass to cut with all that rain?
Yes, we cut it before.
I do too.
Yes, 100%. So anyway. All right, well, we hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.